What up and welcome to Rama Screen YouTube channel, and here's my review of Netflix series Squid Game Season 3 aka the final season. Let's rock this. Wow, the show that rocked the world has come to an end. Netflix granted me the advanced screeners, but the review embargo lifts on the same exact night as this Season 3's premiere, so everybody gets to cover it around the same time as I do. There's no special treatment really. So spoiler alert, I repeat, spoiler alert. But yeah, man, these final episodes were heartbreaking AF. Out of all the new games in this final season, the one that gave me the most anxiety is the jump rope. The fact that the writers even concocted that design was insane. Needless to say, there were a lot of oh my god gasping moments where the twists and turns and the outcomes are not as happy as you would like them to be. And even though they killed off a lot of our favorite characters, which can be very, very upsetting, karma does eventually come for the villains too. It's just that the story milks it right till nearing the end, so that when that ultimately happens, you cheer for their demise like it's the 4th of July. Yes, that bastard finally croaked! Season 3 is gripping, nail-biting, and shocking. This has got to be the most stressful series finale that I have ever watched, because the whole time I was just bracing for impact. Yes, it's sad that we have to say goodbye to this global phenomenon, but boy does it go out with a bang or what. The third and final season of Squid Game follows Ji-hoon after losing his best friend in the game and being driven to utter despair by the frontman who was hiding his true identity to infiltrate the game. Ji-hoon persists with his goal to put an end to the game while the frontman continues on to his next move, and the surviving player's choices will lead to graver consequences with each round. Starring Jung-jae and Byung-hun. The previous Season 2 felt incomplete, understandably so, but with this Season 3, especially with the cop storyline trying to locate the island, it reaches the conclusion that frankly is expected and well deserved. That said, I'm a little mixed about the North Korean girl's arc. You see, there were times when I thought maybe the writers didn't know what to do with her because she kept going back and forth. But eventually, I just accepted it as something that would eventually resolves itself somehow. That North Korean girl is badass and relentless though. So even though her objective seems confusing at times, I was rooting for her. Now, out of all the character deaths in this Season 3, the one that emotionally impacts me the most is the old lady. Because unlike the others who die at the hands of the game, so to speak, you knew that one way or another it was going to happen to them anyway. But she, the old lady, checks out on her own terms. To me, that is extremely sad because it's avoidable or preventable, and it's a sign of somebody with no more fight left in her. Like she was asking the devastating question of, what's the point of living anyway? Now, the VIP guests are way too cartoonish in my opinion. I understand that this show is a satire on our greedy capitalistic society where the very rich look down on us poor folks, but the dialogues in that VP room are a bit on the nose and over the top. Even comic book villains are probably more subtle than that. But you know what? Just when I thought that there isn't anything left to explore about the surviving characters, Season 3 manages to dig even deeper, including about the frontman and his past. And 456 goes from depressed or giving up to finding a newfound purpose in that baby. Everything is so layered and so well thought out to the point where I'm like, golly gee, could this show get any more wild? So yeah, overall I give Squid Game, the final season, the rating of 4.5 out of 5. Stunning visuals, incredible acting. The story managed to find a shred of redemption or a shred of humanity in the midst of all the cruelty. Farewell, Squid Game. Thank you for having been the most extraordinary show ever.